Every major turning point in your life, every breakthrough, every transformation, every leap forward, it began with one thing: a decision. Not a wish, not a goal, not motivation, a decision. Today, everything changes, not with a moment of inspiration, but with one powerful choice. This isn't about moments, it's about direction, about owning your future, about rewriting your story, and about choosing to become exactly who you were always meant to be. Decisions define destiny. You may think your destiny is shaped by events, by luck, by talent, by opportunity, but the truth is, destiny is shaped by decisions. Standing at the crossroads, you choose to stay the same or to become more, to settle or to rise, to drift or to lead. And once you decide, everything aligns behind that decision. Successful people don't ride waves, they create them. And every wave starts with a decision. Why most decisions fail? We've all been there. You decide to get fit, excited at first, then fade. You say you'll go all in on your business, but your focus drifts. You want better relationships, but old patterns resurface. Why? Because decisions without structure collapse. You need clarity, you need identity, you need follow-through, systems, accountability, and purpose. Otherwise, it's just a wish disguised as a promise. Make decisions like Bob Proctor. If you're channeling Bob Proctor, you know this: decide first, then align everything around it. Bob taught us, the only limits in your life are those you set for yourself. Your decision isn't just emotional, it's who you become. You don't just want a new life, you decide to live it, and then nothing can stop it. The anatomy of a powerful decision. A real decision has three elements. 1, commitment. No more half measures. This isn't optional. 2nd, action. Daily steps aligned behind your commitment. 3, identity shift. You become the person who lives that decision effortlessly. You don't wake up one day acting differently. You wake up being different. That's the transformation Bob preached, and it works. Commit to yourself. If you want external success, start with an internal covenant. I will no longer chase external validation. I will no longer betray my dreams. I will make the decisions now that build the future I deserve. A decision is not negotiable. It's non-negotiable. You tell yourself, this won't be easy, but I choose it anyway. That level of commitment shapes everything. Decision plus persistence equals mastery. Decisions are powerful, but they're fragile without persistence. The first week is exciting. The second week tests you. The third week asks, is this worth it? Every day builds your muscle. Every repetition reinforces your decision. Recommit daily. Refuse excuses. Prove your decision every day through action. That's how ordinary decisions become extraordinary outcomes. Your identity is the soil. A decision planted in a weak identity won't grow. You must change who you see in the mirror. If you decide I'm a disciplined person, you make decisions like it. If you decide I'm a confident leader, you lead without hesitation. Decisions succeed when your identity catches up. You may decide greatness, but greatness will only follow once your identity believes it too. Decisions influence others. True leadership doesn't come from persuasion. It comes from example. You decide. You act consistently. People watch. Your decision becomes contagious. Your children see your commitment. Your partner sees your change. Your friends see your shift. Your followers see your transformation. Decisions don't just change you, they change others. That's legacy. Decide to embrace discomfort. No meaningful decision is comfortable. You decide to get fit. You must endure soreness. You decide to build a business. You must face rejection. You decide to grow emotionally. You must sit with pain. Some ask, will this be easy? Real men ask, am I willing to become? Because pain is part of the price. Make discomfort your ally because it signals growth, not failure. Decision reduces anxiety. Ever felt stuck by overthinking? Decisions cut through the noise. They silence the maybe, the what if, the why not yet. Once you decide, clarity arrives. You may be scared, but you're no longer unsure. Choose, act, proceed. That is how peace is born. When you decide, your mind aligns. Every decision broadcasts through your subconscious mind. Once you decide, you begin to notice opportunities you missed before. Doors begin to open because your perception shifts. Decide to create value, and you spot service opportunities. Decide to improve, and you hear solutions instead of problems. Decide to grow, and even small setbacks become lessons. These aren't coincidences. They're signals realigned by your decision. Decision without compromise. When your decision is real, no outside temptation can break it. It's no longer negotiable even on bad days. Decide to be a reader, and missing your goal for one night causes discomfort, forcing you to get back on track. Decide to build resilience, and small failures don't distract you. When you refuse to compromise your decision, you begin living by higher standards. You cannot weaken it because in your mind, it's already done. The compound power of daily decisions. Tiny decisions stack over time. Choosing to thank someone every day builds gratitude. Choosing to do one extra rep builds discipline. Choosing to invest time in learning builds intelligence. One-off decisions spark motivation. Repeated decisions create transformation. If you decide to grow, your daily choices compound into extraordinary life changes. Remember, your life is the sum of your choices. Bob Proctor. Decide in silence. Transition in peace. There's a time to shout, but there's more power in deciding quietly and showing it publicly later. When you announce a decision prematurely, you risk external pressure, premature validation, losing internal resolve under scrutiny. Instead, decide in silence. Let your actions do the talking. Let your transformation make the announcement. That way, your growth is authentic, not performance. Decision fuels emotional ownership. When you decide, you take responsibility. You own the outcome. You stop blaming circumstances. That shifts you from being a victim of your life to the architect of it. This is what Bob taught. You didn't get your circumstances by accident. Your results are the summation of your choices. And once you take responsibility, transformation becomes your duty. Decide to serve, not just gain. What if your decision went beyond self-improvement? What if it was about acquiring character so others could thrive? When you decide to serve, your ambition becomes purpose. Your goals become part of a bigger story. Your impact becomes your legacy. Decide not only to become, but to contribute, and your decision becomes magnetic and meaningful beyond yourself. Decisions don't always feel right. Sometimes a powerful decision feels uncomfortable. That's good. The mind comforts, the decision disrupts. The environment coaxes, the decision transforms. If it always felt right, it wouldn't change you. If you always felt certain, you might not act. A decision isn't always nice, it's necessary. Push through discomfort. The fracture lines in life are where growth enters. Decide to outlast resistance. When resistance comes, and it will, your mind will ask, is this worth it? Why can't I just rest? Why is it so hard? But your decision must be stronger, not based on how you feel, but on the vision you've chosen. Every time you choose to stay when others quit, you prove your decision is anchored. Outlasting resistance bridges dream and reality. Decide to stay curious and humble. Powerful people stay curious. They choose to learn, even after big wins. A real decision includes openness, growth, humility. Decide to learn, decide to listen, decide to evolve. Because when success arrives, ego whispers. Decisions rooted in humility and curiosity stay firm, even at the top. The line between faith and fear. Every powerful decision stands at the crossroads. Faith versus fear. Faith, trust in yourself, trust in your vision, trust in the process. Fear, doubting your worth, avoiding exposure, resisting failure. You must decide which voice wins, the visionary or the doubter. Decide to rise on faith and watch your fear shrink.